Hey everybody, welcome to Miss Terry's 52 Cupcake Recipe Challenge. Today we are doing cupcake number 43 and it's the kettle corn cupcake. Let me tell you how I made this yummy thing. I took a cup and a half of flour. I took a cup of the sugar. This is like raw sugar cane sugar I used. So I didn't use the regular granulated sugar. I used this sugar. And this sugar actually gave me little crevices sort of in my cupcake. It made it look a little bit, you know, bubbly, cratery-ish type. I think because the granulins in this, in the raw sugar are really big. So as they melted when the cupcake was cooking and heating up, it just created these little pockets in the cupcake, which really make it look interesting. So I used, let me repeat again, a cup and a half of flour, 1 cup of the raw sugar. I used a teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of baking soda, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, mixed up those dry ingredients, and then in my KitchenAid, I took a half a cup of olive oil, half a cup of buttermilk, 2 large eggs, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and a teaspoon of butter extract because I wanted these to taste really buttery. And then I took just 1 tablespoon of, this is a sea salt caramel. So I knew that within the sea salt caramel that they were going to have the right balance of the sweet and the salt for me. But I didn't want the cupcake to taste like caramel, so that's why I only used the 1 tablespoon. Okay, so I mixed all those wet ingredients up, added my dry ingredients, mixed them up. I did find, I have to tell you, that my batter was a little thicker than I wanted it, so I added an extra tablespoon of buttermilk. And then mixed all that up. My oven was preheated at 350 degrees. I baked these for 16 minutes exactly. And when I have to tell you, I learned something new today and I was really excited about it. I was ready to put in my second batch of cupcakes and I remembered, oh my gosh, I forgot to take the butter out to let the butter get to room temperature. And you know how long it takes butter to get to room temperature. It's winter out there right now, so it takes a very long time. I generally take it out the night before and then it's perfect in the morning. But I remembered this, I read it somewhere, I don't remember, it's probably on the internet somewhere, but I remembered seeing that if you take your stick of butter and just put it on any old plate, unwrap it of course, and then stick it on the plate, and then I took this as like a ceramic bowl. I nuked the ceramic bowl for like 50 seconds for it to get nice and warm, not piping hot to where I couldn't touch it, it was just really warm. And then I took this and put it upside down over the butter like that, let it sit for a half hour, and then my butter was room temperature. So I didn't have to wait hours for it to get to room temperature. I only had to wait the 30 minutes. So what a cool trick that was for me to learn. I was really excited about it. All right, so now that my butter is at room temperature, I was able to use it. I mixed up the 2 sticks of salted butter and I used 3 cups of confectionery sugar. I used a teaspoon of vanilla extract and then a teaspoon of the butter extract again, even though I made butter, you know, made this with butter. I still wanted the extra butter flavor to pop. And then I took another tablespoon, just a tablespoon of the sea salt caramel and added that in. And now I've got my icing. So I'm just going to blop some icing on here. Just squeeze it on like that. And I'm just using the star tip, nothing fancy. Just getting my icing on there. Just want all the flavors to be on there. And then next I found the kettle corn popcorn. So I'm just going to go ahead and top some of the corn right on top of my cupcake. It's kind of cute. You know, even my icing is like the same color of the kettle corn. I'm just topping it like that. It smells wonderful. You smell the sweetness and the saltiness of the popcorn itself. It's yummy. And that's my version of the kettle corn cupcake. I hope you enjoy it. Again, this is number 43. We have only 9 more to go. I'm in the single digits. Wow. So I was a bit nervous too with the caramel being in here and the different type of sugar, how my paper was going to pull apart from the cupcake, and it's just amazing. Did a perfect job. So I'm going to taste it. It's very good. Yum. Take the popcorn and scoop the icing off. Very good. Oops. Harley's putting his nose up here. I think he wants some too. Yum. It tastes like kettle corn to me. You get the sweet and the salty, just enough. Yummy. Try the recipe. I hope you enjoy it. It wasn't complicated at all. Try the butter trick there. I was excited to learn that. So thanks, guys. We will see you for next week's recipe. Again, only 9 more to go. Bye now.